everyone. Welcome to Helbine-7, this beautiful space game using the Savage Worlds rule set. I am Maria. I'm the person who runs these games, and I'm very excited and very happy and full of so many emotions. Welcome to our finale. If you haven't seen the rest of it, well, there's a lot happening. But before we get into all of that, why don't we go around once more and introduce yourselves and your characters and all of that goodness. Starting with Emma.
Hello, I'm Emma. You can find me at MK Hansen on the Twitter sphere. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I am this overlay. I am Z, who uses he, they, and she pronouns.
Hi. Next, we'll just hop right over to Tim.
Hello. Hi, I'm Tim. I'm at Anonmarth on all the social interwebs. I use him, he pronouns, and I am playing Don, who also uses him, he pronouns. And we're going to survive and have fun.
One of those things will definitely happen. Skirting over and down to Terran.
That's me, I think. Hi everyone, I'm Taryn. I use he, him pronouns, and I am not playing Speaker to Win like Zoom chat says, because that's from last night. I am definitely playing Maximilian Rochester the Fourth. Yeah, that's all you need to know about it.
100% quality, perfect human being. And then last but not least, Corey.
Hi, my name is Corey. My pronouns are he, they. Today I'm going to be playing Connor, and his pronouns are he, him.
All right, everyone. So last we all left off together, we, and by we I mean these lovely individuals, had found their way to the moon of Helbine-7, on which they found the lab of one Dr. Helbine. They met a Rossum android by the name of Different, and learned a little bit more about Helbine and this place, and also what he may have been studying whilst he was here. They found another companion of Dawn's, Rossum, the android that joined him on many adventures back in the past, who at this point is currently in some sort of low-powered sleep state. They all descended down into the depths of the moon, underground, underneath the lab here, being faced with a locked door that involved some biometrics. Z learned that perhaps they were a key to something, as the door did unlock for them and opened to an underground chamber full of tunnels, one which was lit and had very familiar cryogenic stasis pods, ones that Dawn and Connor had seen before, all of which were empty. And they found a shoe. And then shortly after, going back to the main corridor, they were met with a person. An older human male individual who was very thin, kind of almost not quite emaciated, but kind of long, stringy gray hair, wearing fairly tattered clothes, missing a shoe, and upon asking, or rather shining a very bright light in their direction, he said in a very hoarse, cracked voice, "Who are you?" And this is where we pick up. So, friends, you have just been asked a question by someone. He's still kind of guarding his face against the light, even though it's not directly shining in his face anymore. What would you all like to do?
Do they look like they're physically injured at all, or like struggling, like from a first glance?
Make a notice check for me.
Okay. 3.
3. Okay. From this distance, you can't really tell. You could tell. You knew that when they came out, as soon as you could see them, they were shuffling, kind of, maybe staggering a little bit. They did just fall down backwards, but they don't. At first glance, you can't see. They're not covered in blood or viscera or anything obvious.
Okay. Well, hopefully someone else responds to the question. Connor wants to like run over to offer them aid and like stabilize them a bit. He's not sure if they're hurt or not, so he wants to go up and see.
Okay. Whilst Connor runs up to assist, what are the rest of you doing? Or in response to Connor running up to assist?
I'm just looking at Z and Dawn. I've got like the light, because I was the one that was shining it. I've got like the light kind of off to the side and just like, who are we?
I think that Z will probably follow Connor over to take a sort of cursory look-see daisy at this individual.
Okay.
And like assist Connor or help if that's an option.
And Don's just gonna stand back and evaluate what's happening.
Oh, as Connor's running by, and I kind of finally figure out his intention for this. There's a meta scanner and some metagel in that pack you're carrying.
Connor will pull it out, and as Connor goes up, he'll say to this person, "My name's Connor. That's who I am."
How did you get here?
What was that?
How did you get here?
We came through the door and we were showed in, and we heard there was some stuff down here, so we walked in.
He's just kind of glancing, like his eyes darting between all of you. Since you are here, see. If you would like to, since you're closer now, I believe there is a medicine skill or a healing skill. I think it's healing.
If you use the meta scanner, it'll help you identify any pain.
It 100% will.
Connor will do that.
Okay. So using the metascanner, you pull it out, and it's kind of just a small, basically like a small handheld sized tablet, and you boot it up, set it to supposedly a human biometric scan. Let's see. So, if you would like to just do a a cursory scan using the meta scanner. You'll roll the healing skill, which if you do not have, you'll roll a d4 and then you'll subtract 2. However, the meta scanner gives you a +2, so you'll just roll a d4 and a d6.
Fantastic. Ooh. I rolled a 6.
6? All right.
Yep.
So with a 6, using the meta scanner, you can determine that he is definitely dehydrated, and has some malnourishment. And you can tell there is a strange readout. It says that there's an error, a mild error, when you finish scanning it. It gives you like this preliminary information, and then it says that there was an error in the species category.
Max, it's broken.
What's wrong with it? As I'm like shining the light like down different corridors, trying to just keep a perimeter with Don.
Yeah, the light, it's red. That means it doesn't work properly.
Mm-hmm.
The little picture of the human, it's there's something wrong with it.
No, I think that might mean there's something wrong with him.
That actually does not necessarily mean there is something wrong with him. It does mean that there might be some form of contamination.
What?
Perhaps that there is something that should not exist in their body that does currently.
At this point, Helbine has kind of righted himself a little bit, and he kind of grasps at you, Connor, as in like to
Connor
pull
will,
himself up,
Yeah.
like not all the way up, but just up to like close to you, and with just wide eyes, he says, "You shouldn't be here. This place is not good."
Connor's gonna look to the group.
Z, you want to ask him about that message they sent out?
Okay, I'm not sure that they are in the right mind, but I will do my best. I will sort of like walk behind Connor to look at this individual. Hello, my name is Z. Do you know who you are?
I am Felbert Helbine.
Fucking yikes. Z does not say that. So.
I came here and it was a mistake.
Do you recall the messages that you sent out into the universe?
No, I do not.
Do you recall speaking to a Rossum android about ensuring that, oh dear, that your laboratory was kept safe?
You can see that he's still holding on to you, Connor, but you can feel that he starts to shake and his eyes grow even wider. and
Oh,
he
yeah, we
just
shouldn't
starts
be
like
here.
shaking his head.
Oh no. How do you recall how you got down here?
I remember I was wandering for days. I had supplies, I had something, and I found them. I found all of them.
So we should go. And Max is just gonna slowly start backing up.
Wait, oh, I know I'm gonna regret this. When you say you found them, I assume you're talking about the things in the tubes, yes?
They weren't in tubes. Not when I found them. They were in these crystalline pods, and I touched one, and it woke up. And then it touched me, and I don't remember what happened.
Okay. Okay. How long ago was this?
I don't know. I found my way back here somehow, and I ran out of food and I ran out of water, and I thought the best thing to do would be to just go to sleep for a very long time. And so I did. And then one day I woke up and I wasn't in there anymore. I was wandering again. And then you all showed up.
Yeah, all right. That's tough. We're gonna help you out. We can make sure. I don't think it's very safe for you down here. We'll get you the help that you need here. And Connor's gonna hold out his hand and sort of like offer to help him wherever direction we decide to go.
He's still got like what feels like a death grip. Despite his kind of frail frame, he is like white knuckling your shoulders with a surprising grip strength. And he says, "You don't get it. We cannot leave." I made sure we couldn't leave because I did not want them to leave.
You know, turning on the door would have been nice. Like a do not enter sign or something.
What is the requirement to enter this underground facility down here? Who programmed the key?
He at this point just kind of starts to let go of Connor, and he says, "I did. It was keyed to my genetic code. Don't know why you are all here."
It's nervous laughter. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm
No,
not laughing.
same.
It's nervous laughter. I am going. Z is. I'm gonna put my hand like palm up, and I am going to take I'm going to put my right hand up, and I am going to take whatever hand would fit on top of that. Would that be his left? And then put it on top of mine and say, I got us in here. You and I are perhaps the same, but I don't know how I came to be. And I don't know how that happened.
Make a notice check.
Oh, hold please. That's a 4.
4. Okay. That is enough. With you being this close, you have his hand in yours, and he turns and he looks at you, and you can see he's got these kind of like smoky blue eyes, kind of grayish blue. His left eye, though, you can see in the whites of it, very similarly to how you have these on the side of your head, these kind of the biometric, like the computer chip bits. You can see those on the corners, the inside and the outside corners of his left eye.
Doctor, are you an android? Of sorts.
No. I had an experience. I was invited by the Coalition to partake in this new process that they were attempting, and it was enlightening. I was gifted a couple of things, some I didn't ask for. But I guess they took something from me too.
The Coalition is very good at taking. Without permission and consent.
It seems that they are.
I'm freaking out over here. I'm sorry. And Taryn, I think we're all just like, oh, fuck.
Happy finale, everyone.
Yo.
Going out with a bang.
Shit. Okay. Do we have any rations to offer this individual?
I brought beef jerky.
Didn't really think it was going to be that kind of emergency. Sorry, didn't really plan that.
Do we have water on us even?
I think you guys would have had like a little bit prepared in your like general supply stuff.
We probably have some 4 Loco somewhere.
I mean, probably back in this ship somewhere.
The 10 Loco.
Gonna say, I think Connor might potentially have a protein shake handy.
This is true. You could. Yep. That is plausible.
mid-dungeon workout.
Just a quick question: would the medical scanner pinpoint whereabouts the unknown scan shows on the body, where that unknown scan is?
Possible. You can also take blood samples. It can study blood samples as well. Should you choose to go that route. But it didn't really it didn't say it detected like a foreign body or a foreign substance. It flashed that the category that was selected, as in like human species, was wrong.
So did it do like a Google searching of like, did you mean, you typed human, did you mean this?
It wasn't that helpful.
Maybe we should get out of here.
Kind of thought.
What did you mean by you made sure that no one could get out?
He kind of looks over towards the door, and you can see it's almost mirrored from the other side, where it's just a door, and it had a touchpad with a speaker above it, and the touchpad is just non-existent. It looks like it was ripped out with some force, and wherever the remnants happen to be do not exist. At least not here.
Okay.
If we are unable to exit the way that we came in, then perhaps we should move further into these caves.
Because that always goes great in the horror vids. Yeah.
We also don't have an option.
I know, it's just terrifying. I'm trying to keep up the persona right now, but it's really hard, see?
I know.
And it's just cracking. Like, he is just cracking right now.
I think I will probably go up to Maximilian. Not super close. I don't want to invade space, but I think I'll go up just a little bit and say, we are in the depths of an abandoned laboratory in a possible trap. Perhaps this would be a really good time to turn the cameras off.
You could get in trouble if someone dies on your show.
Sweet Connor.
I appreciate the sentiment, Connor. It's not really how airwaves work these days, but
Oh.
if I'm probably not even getting through anyway, and so he'll just kind of like switch and like click off the like live feed one, but leave the recorder one running for later. All right.
You don't actually have to pretend down here, particularly if we are perhaps in our last moments together. And Z will turn around and start walking.
Okay. There are multiple avenues for you to choose. There was a total of 5 different offshoots. One of them you've already gone down. That was the one with the lit chamber. There was one that Helbine came from, and then there were 3 other ones.
I think I'll probably like intend on walking away, and then I'll stop and realize that I don't know where to go, and I will turn back around to the group.
Don's just going to stand there pointing at the one where Helbine came from.
Perhaps we should do...
Maybe we should ask the person whose lab this is. Maybe that might be an idea. I don't know.
Whose lab is this? Connor's gonna smile. I'm not that dumb.
Okay. Whew. Oh, babe, that was. All right, Helbine. If we can't go out, are we going through?
Kind of just looks back over his shoulder to where this dark tunnel just continues and says, sure, at one point they got out somehow. Perhaps through is the only option.
All right. Connor, you're on Hellbind duty.
Alright. Connor will go and help this person along as we go.
Yeah. And then Max is going to shoulder up his plasma rifle, kind of like holding the flashlight to the side of it.
Okay.
John, you've been silent.
It's you taking the lead then. And are we taking Helbine with us?
That's. Seems like right now that's the only thing of worth that we're going to be able to get out of here.
I mean, your life might be a good, valuable thing right now.
Do you remember the talk I gave up top? If I come back empty-handed, it doesn't matter if I come back at all.
You have recording, and you can bring back his head.
Are you saying we should kill him?
I'm saying that he's been down here for a very long time, touched something that he shouldn't have been touching, and then has no memory of what happened in between. So what's to say that the person we're with right now is actually Helbine? And what's to say we're not being led directly into a trap?
I don't think we have a lot of options. Do you got a better idea, or you're just going to critique Dawn?
I'm very tempted just to shoot him in the head, to be honest. That's at least one option that's out of the way.
I think upon hearing this, Zia's going to whip around and walk up to you two and say, I have had no knowledge of my existence prior to these moments. If you shoot him, I will shoot you.
Max will just like point and see, be like,
I have had no understanding of my life.
I think we should at least do it for Z then.
Now, I like you, Dawn. But I also have some answers. Questions that I need answered. I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. I don't want to yell at my friends.
Doing great.
Okay, then I'll do you this deal. We'll take him, we'll get the answers you're looking for. But if he turns into a burden or turns into something that can harm us, answers or no answers, I'm taking him down. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Right, let's go head off to Certain Doom then.
Certain Doom it is. And Max is going to flick on his little like belt force field.
All right. To Certain Doom, you progress.
And beyond.
and beyond. All right. So that I have it right in my head, we have in the front Maximilian.
Sure. Got
I
that overconfidence hindrance.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Which, don't you also have like the yellow?
Yeah, yellow only classifies for actual like viscera, technically.
Gotcha.
It only kicks in if I see things actually start bleeding. So
Gotcha. Excellent. Fantastic. So we've got Max, who is...
Connor would like to go beside. And if
Okay.
he has a moment, he wants to say something.
You absolutely do.
Okay.
Do you are you assisting Helbine at the moment, or do you want to have this conversation?
I'll help Helbine the whole time through.
Okay. Who else is in this? Where are Dawn and Z? Are you guys just kind of together towards the back? It can be kind of like a bundle too. It doesn't have to be, one after the other.
I think that we're doing really great tonight, y'all. I think that despite being a little agitated, Z is gonna stick pretty close to Dawn.
Okay.
And Don's gonna keep Helbine where he can see him.
Okay. Yeah, so as you all start to progress down this dark corridor, for the sake of this, I think you all have some kind of a light source. Maximilian, you have one on the end of your rifle. But I think it would make sense that you all have at least some like small light source with you. So as you progress down this hall, Maximilian and Connor, you have a moment to chat, as there is just stone around you, just this tunnel of stone.
Max, is that thing still records?
and he'll point at the one on his chest. Yeah, it's as much as it can.
Yeah. Who sees that?
This is, we'll say, a personal recording.
Oh. Okay. And Connor's gonna like position himself a little bit. Could you just turn a little bit while we walk?
Like towards you or away from you?
Yeah, towards the muscles.
Okay.
Hot. Is it on?
Yeah.
Connor's gonna tap it.
No, don't have to do that, Connor.
Yeah, okay.
Here, I'll like hold up a finger and like pull the like recording one and switch off the like send signal switch or whatever and swing it around so it kind of floats in front of Connor.
Hi. My name is Conor O'Neill. I'm just doing this recording because I haven't really done a whole lot in my life. I've just sort of done some things and I don't know if I'll get out of here, so I just wanted to make sure that there'd be a chance for people to know about me. That's all. And then Connor's gonna like push it back.
Connor, that you'll make it out of here.
Oh, if I was smarter, I would agree with you, but
No, you'll. And Max is like, for the first time, showing any real emotion besides frustration, anger, or, yeah. And just kind of like puts a hand on Connor's shoulder, probably up a little bit. Kind of gives it a little squeeze. Just don't do anything stupid like risk your life for me. That's what Don's for.
oh, I'll risk his life for you.
I mean, not unintentionally, but yeah, we'll go with that. You know, kind of want to do one of those two. And so he'll pull the recording device over and kind of have it float in front of him. And this is the real Maximilian Rochester IV. I not even sure how to do one of these things as myself these days. But if you're seeing this, probably Dad, fuck you. Fuck the Marauders, and fuck your plan. So that's all I've got to say about that. And he just flicks it off and then switches it. That was cathartic.
All right. I like that. And Connor will put his arm around a bit as well. Sort of like offered a bit of...
Dax will lean in a little bit.
Yeah.
Do Dawn and I see this? Do
Oh, yeah.
I see this?
Oh yeah, you guys are. I mean, you don't have to be right up next to them, but you're behind them, so you can see and you can hear this too. This isn't necessarily a
Private
soundproof-
conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
this is an
okay.
echo chamber in the biggest degree. So this isn't a private. I mean, it's private, but it's not private conversation.
It's not a side room in the Ivory Tower.
This is. It is not a side room in the Ivory Tower.
I think that Z would probably then say Maximilian, thank you for the safety that your family has provided me. And thank you for some form of friendship that you have given me. And I think that I am proud of you for what you just did.
Thanks. I think that's the only way I know how to respond to that.
That is all right.
You know that's not going anywhere if I make it out of here alive, right?
That doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Right.
You all keep walking. And this particular channel, this tunnel, continues for quite some time. And eventually you make it to a branching path. I would like either Conor or Maximilian, because you're in the lead, to make a survival check.
What is this for?
Yeah. So that's a D4 and a D6. I'm not skilled in it. Yeah.
So, okay. There
Oh,
is
hey.
also the option.
That's a 6 on the 6, so
Oh, well,
let's see
then
what
just keep
happens.
going.
That's an 8.
Okay. Are you trained in this skill?
No.
Okay, then did you subtract 2 already? Did you subtract 2 from skills?
Yes,
You're not trained in?
yes.
Okay, so it's an 8.
Yep.
After you subtracted.
It's a 10 minus 2, yeah.
Fantastic. When you get to this crossroads, both sides, again, look identical to the tunnel that you are in. All of the tunnels here are roughly hewn. Everything. Ceiling, ground, the walls. They don't look like they were dug out with any sort of man-made precision. That's not what catches your eye, though. As you're kind of looking around, determining which way to go, you see just faintly, but somehow with your keen eye or your just heightened awareness being in this kind of this space that has nothing else to focus on, you do see the tracks that were left behind from Helbine. You see a couple of them, but they all lead the same direction. You see some that are going in that direction, and you see some that came from that direction.
I thought you were saying they all came from that direction. Like he just like kept teleporting back and walking. Like, just a loop. All right. And so we're at a crossroads, right? You said.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is a forward, a right, and a left, or
that is just a right and a left.
Okay, so it's
T's.
we've got a T.
Yeah.
And they're all coming from the right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, and I'll kind of like shine the light on the end of the plasma rifle. That's where Helbine's been. Do we want to try where he's not?
Be a very wise decision, lad.
All right, and he's just gonna go to the left.
Okay. You begin the trek down again an identical tunnel, and you walk for what feels like hours. It's very hard to tell a passage of time when everything you see before you looks the same and everything you see behind you looks the same. And there comes a point for each of you at some point during this trek where you've almost convinced yourself you haven't actually been going anywhere because nothing is changing. And it's about that point that the tunnel ends and opens up into a much, much bigger cavern. Bigger than the one that you entered this underground chamber. In this cavern, you can actually see a little bit. There seems to be this crystalline substance that's growing from the walls, from the ceiling, from almost every surface. There is, in the center of this large domed cavern, a kind of a central stone pillar that stretches floor to ceiling. Presumably, the other side of this pillar is a mirror of where you are, which makes this space almost donut-shaped. And glancing to the left and the right on the outer wall, you can see there are more tunnels that seem to lead here. What's giving off this crystalline substance, like I said, is kind of everywhere. What's giving us the most light, though, is on this central pillar. You can see these massive crystals that are about 7 to 7.5 feet in length that are just jutting out in random places. Though their placement is random, their size is almost eerily uniform. What would y'all like to do? Connor, you see that Helbine is shaking once again. And as as kind of before, has a bit of a death grip on your shoulder. His arm is around you, but his knees have kind of buckled slightly.
Yeah, Dr. Helbine, are you okay? You're a little bit shaky again.
I didn't think there was more than one.
More than one what?
This is them. This is where they sleep.
So those are them, pointing to the middle structure.
There's so many more than I thought there were.
All right. Max is just gonna turn around and like look at the other two. What do we do? None of us were ready for this.
Well, the first thing we do is we don't touch anything. Agreed?
Yeah.
Oh, agreed.
Connor,
Helbine. Both of you.
Helbine is just staring out into this expansive space.
So it opens up. It doesn't necessarily open down as well, or is it?
There's a little bit of a
Okay.
decline, but nothing like sheer cliff face or anything like that. It's almost like it's a bit of a circle with most of the. It's like an egg shape, with it just kind of going up for a long ways,
Mm-hmm.
but then just dipping down just slightly.
How many of these crystalline structures on the center pillar do we see? Just out of curiosity.
Make a notice check for me, please.
You all can make one
Okay.
if you like.
has Connor responded to me, by the way?
Nope.
Oh.
Mm.
No.
Okay, then. Conor O'Neill, I want a response right now.
Young
What?
man.
What's that? What's that, Captain?
We are not going to touch anything. Agreed?
If you were my captain, maybe that could be true, but I think we're just a regular old crew, so I might just do my own thing. All right.
Connor,
Yes.
please, babe, don't touch nothing.
Oh. You know I'm touchy.
If you touch
What?
anything, you'll lose those hands.
And not from us either. You know how we were having that conversation, you were explaining what Alpha, Beta, Gamma were, and you weren't really sure because they were so terrifying?
I didn't think they were. I just thought they were weird. I'm not
Yeah,
scared
well,
of anything.
there's a bunch. Connor. Glorious himbo. Don't touch, please.
I'm too busy looking at these crystals because I rolled an 8 on my notice check.
What does that mean?
Yeah. What do you mean notice check?
I don't know. I read it in a book once. Just
Wait.
kidding.
Yes.
There's the lie.
Damn it, Connor. Anyway, yeah, I had a 7.
Okay.
I had a 12.
Jeez.
Dawn?
I didn't roll one. I was just trying to tell him off and
Okay.
make sure.
Okay.
So I'm not doing a notice. I'm trying to get him to get a response to me.
Gotcha. Excellent. You all, from this vantage point, can see on this central pillar that, best as you can tell, is about 60, 70 feet high. You can count roughly about 24 or so that you can easily pick out. And that's just the big crystals.
Yeah, and Helbine, you're saying this isn't all of them?
I don't know. This isn't the way that I came. I don't think...
But there are a lot of tunnels here, so you could have ended up here another way. Do we want to backtrack? Hate backtracking.
TM, I have a question. Are those voices still in my head?
I'm so glad you asked. Yes. Yes, they are. They have gotten louder the closer that you
okay.
get.
I am wondering, I know that they are kind of functioning like interference, but would it be possible for me to run these voices that I'm hearing through something to see if I can start either learning what they are saying and how to speak back, or just at least begin to sort of understand what they are, even if it's bits and pieces?
Yeah. I feel like when you made that coding for yourself to decipher the other things, I think we used... Did we just use...
I think it was just common knowledge.
Yeah, it was either common knowledge or we used hacking in a loose way.
Okay. Yeah. I don't...
No, I think a common knowledge roll makes the most sense.
Okay. That is a 9.
Okay. It takes you a little bit of time. Well, it takes you longer than you would have liked, as in more than a few seconds. But you're able to kind of piece together different language translators and start feeding this constant noise through it to try to piece together, these are commonly used with this, etc., to kind of try to figure out or put together some kind of a language that you can understand. And eventually you do start to pick up bits and pieces, enough that you can vaguely form some kind of thought or words or phrases. A lot of what you do end up translating is bits of that new code that you got. The one about the Cordara being hungry.
Yeah.
And, you know, waiting and anxious and all of that. It's kind of a jumble of all of those different pieces just keep overlapping on top of each other. But you are eventually able to kind of piece together some sort of a language that you can theoretically speak.
Okay. I don't want to do anything with that yet. I just wanted to have it.
Okay.
Okay.
What would you all like to do?
Are there any exits that we talked about from this room?
There are, as best as you can tell, close to a dozen other tunnels that you can see branching
Are
off of
these-
this main one.
Okay, are these like converging tunnels kind of thing? Or is it like just all around sporadic? Like, does it seem like they all go towards here? Or is there a few that look like they go out into, you know, a different direction, I guess?
I would say to determine that, you'd probably have to get a better vantage point of each one, because you're a bit far from a lot of them, and you can see a little
Yeah.
ways into them, because this kind of dim glow that's coming from all these crystals around here doesn't really shed a whole lot of light. Your all's light sources are still doing a decent job.
Yeah. Friends, I think we should go and take a look around at what our options are again, because we should probably just keep going. Well, I don't know if we want to interact too much with these things, like we said.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before we do any searching, I just want to make sure we're the only ones in here, okay? And I'm gonna shoot the central pillar.
Ah, why?
What
Okay.
happened to don't touch things?
I have instantly removed my hoverboard, getting ready to run the other direction.
Okay. Make a shooting roll for me.
Oh, y'all, it's been really good.
It's been great, y'all. I love playing with you.
Oh my.
Okay, that's an 11.
Cool.
Okay. Are you... What? Are you aiming for
What?
anything?
What?
Are you aiming for one of the crystals, or are you aiming just for the pillar?
I'm just aiming for the pillar, you know, shooting up just to see if shoot something, see if there's any reaction around, like creatures moving, you know, effectively warning shots.
Okay. You managed to not hit any of the large crystals, which is a feat considering how far away it is. You do hit one of the smaller ones, maybe about maybe like a foot to 2 feet big.
Pomeranian size.
Yeah. And it shatters. Completely shatters. A lot of you do notice that amongst the crystal shards, there's also some kind of organic matter that also seems to explode from it. And then both Helbine and Z, you both, without being able to control it, start to scream. And in your head, Z, is just this chorus of screams.
am I able to like think clearly, or is it just like I'm overwhelmed right now?
It's a lot. What I will say, I'm gonna have you make a spirit check, essentially
Dawn, why?
to see if you can continue to act under this duress. So you roll your spirit die and then the d6.
That's a 6.
Okay. The noise doesn't die down, however, you're able to kind of compose yourself enough to think clearer-ish with the sound of screaming. And then you realize that you too are screaming, and you do have enough mental capacity to stop that, at least.
I'm gonna like turn and look at the group.
What the hell, Dawn?
What the hell was that?
Well, answer the question now, at least. And no one
What
else is
question?
interrupted us. So, well, a question we didn't know we needed to ask.
What question we didn't have to ask?
But now we do.
Helbine is still screaming, by the way.
Yeah.
And he has kind of pushed himself away from you, Connor, and is making his way into the room. Fairly quickly.
I'll follow him. Z, I think you're relevant in this. Can you please come?
No, I think you're gonna have to handle it. Grab him.
He's running, yes?
Grab him. Don't shoot him.
He's
Grab
not
him.
running, but he's like stumbling and like tripping and going into the chamber, yes.
I've got my rifle pointed at Dawn, and I'm like, don't shoot him.
I've got my second gun pointed at Max, saying, I'm not gonna kill him. Put down
Connor,
that
go get him.
rifle.
Put down your
Connor's
guns!
still with him.
And I'm gonna take off running after Helbine to stop him.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Okay.
I'm still aimed at Dawn right now. That was a stupid thing you did.
At least we're the only ones in this room.
For now, the screaming, probably an alarm system.
There was 2 people screaming.
That we know of.
Do we hear any of us
If
scream?
they were...
Make a notice check for me. It's going to be pretty tricky because you have screaming right now happening close by.
Yeah. Yeah, no, just a 4.
A 4, okay. Maximilian, did you want to try to determine the same thing?
No,
Okay.
I don't care about other screaming. I've got
Okay.
another point to make.
Gotcha. Yeah, you take a beat and you don't hear any far off echoing screams other than the echoes of the screams that are currently happening not too far away from you.
Dawn,
Maximilian.
if you think about it, if they were able to get a message off world while still in pods, they probably don't have to communicate the same way we do. It's actually pretty dumb to think that they do communicate the same way we do.
And if they're still in pods, then they're no harm to us. But if they're out of pods, they're very much harm to us. Do you see any of them walking around here? No,
Yet.
because they're still in pods.
This doesn't necessarily fall under keeping me safe.
At this point, anything I'm going to do is to keep you safe, i.e. not having people touch stuff and not having people jump out of nowhere and surprise us. And I also think you can look after yourself a bit more than you realize.
It's getting nowhere, and he's just gonna hop on the hoverboard and turn around and float down to the rest of the group. Does that kid skateboard angry stomp thing?
I want to keep my guns out and walk slowly after them.
All right. I see this behind the scenes chatting going on between him and the DM. See your faces. I can hear your typings.
Listen, y'all, safety tools are important.
This is true. Checking in with your players
Very
is
true.
very good. All right. So,
But
Maximilian...
brace yourself.
Maximilian, you're going back the way you came?
No, I'm heading off towards...
You're
I'm just trying to...
Okay.
I'm on the hoverboard specifically so I'm like not disturbing anything. It's
Gotcha.
a little bit quieter, a little bit
Gotcha.
smoother. So
Okay. So, the scene as it lays out, Helbine has essentially stumble run his way towards the center of this room. Z, you followed quickly after. Connor, what are you doing?
Connor's trying to get as close to Helbine as possible to like make sure that he doesn't hurt himself or anything.
Okay. So it's the two of you kind of almost in tandem running to where Helbine is. You can tell that he is very purposefully trying to get to that specific place that was shot. You can tell that he is very actively trying to get there. And this whole time he is screaming. His voice is starting to get hoarse because he is screaming with, like, the full force of his frail body. The two of you you can easily catch up to him. He is not as quick as the two of you.
Okay. Connor's just gonna try and over the screen like, doctor, can you pipe down, please? We're trying to help. What do you need? We can help if you just stop screaming for a moment, please. Please stop. Please, it's really loud. You're so loud.
He doesn't seem to acknowledge you, and neither does he stop moving or does he stop screaming.
Okay, well, Connor's just gonna try and make sure he doesn't hurt himself and keep following along.
or don't let him touch the tower.
Is going to try to, in seeing that he and I are part of the same network, I am going to like grab him and like look at him, and I'm going to do my damnedest to try to communicate with him using this network to tell him to stop screaming.
Okay.
And that we are fine and things are safe.
Okay. I'm gonna have you make a focus check. Focus is a skill that is specifically used for magic in this system.
Okay.
However, I feel like this is applicable. Now, you, as far as I know, are not trained in focus.
Correct.
What is your spirit die?
It's a D8.
A D8. You have a D6 in focus.
Okay.
And this is essentially a skill that you forgot that you had.
Oh! Okay. That's so cool. Oh, hot toddy. That's a 10.
Okay. Describe to me again how physically this would look. Are you like holding his hands? Are you like grabbing his shoulders?
I'm like grabbing his shoulders, and I assume that his gaze is like trying to get behind me at where the shot was. So I'm gonna try and center myself in his vision, and like I guess as I am doing this, I recall that I have this ability to be able to do this thing. So it just sort of like I'm like almost expecting to talk, and then I don't. Like the words that that are trying to escape my throat get caught in them and travel through my brain instead.
Okay. You focus these words and this energy out from yourself. And you can see that his kind of wide-eyed, panicked face, the attention goes to you. And as you mentally shout this out, all of the screaming stops. In your head, as well as from Dr. Helbine.
All of this, like the network stops.
It seems that your words have reached a few others.
As I kind of like realize this and we stop, Darren is turtling.
He's going full turtle, full sock.
Full turtle. I'm gonna kind of like lean over and look at the rest of them. And then like look back, like unable to really like, there's like a part of I wasn't expecting that to happen. So here we are.
You feel Helbine in your grasp. You feel him again begin to shake, and then his legs just give out under him. And Connor, you were close, so you would have a chance to grab him before he tumbles down.
I would like to do that, please.
You do so, and he is exceptionally light, especially for one of your beefy persuasion. But you can tell that he appears exhausted. He is not unconscious. But his gaze is kind of not really focused on anything, and his limbs are just kind of limp.
If he's like limp, Connor will like actually carry him.
Okay.
Dr. Helbine is he's a bit weak. I think we're gonna have to carry him.
I'll step off the hoverboard and kind of like, I don't know if this will help or hinder more, but at least support his weight.
What kind of hoverboard is this? Is this like two wheels and a little board?
No, this is like a space hoverboard. This is like...
Oh, like Back to the Future?
Yeah, Marty McFly hoverboard.
Gotcha.
But probably actually future stuff, so...
Okay, Connor will sort of use this to...
Wait, sorry. Have you been imagining whenever I say hoverboard, the little like two-wheeled one?
Yes. I was like, okay. Weird flex, but all right.
Sorry for interrupting the spooky, scary story horror stream in space for that hysterical moment, but I had to ask. All right.
Maybe we could have a group conversation as you could tell us what just happened.
Don't do that in the room with alien space pod things.
Oh. Okay.
They won't understand what you are saying.
That's not what my worry is. Worry is we're going to wake them up.
They are awake.
Oh, you want to elaborate, Z?
I am still assessing the situation. However, if you noticed, I did not verbally ask Dr. Helbine to stop screaming. We have all been networked, not by choice. From the moment that we got in here, there were voices that I could hear and could not understand. I am able to communicate without verbally expressing anything. And when I asked Dr. Helbine to stop and assured him that things were safe, the other voices that began screaming in my head also stopped. So they are awake and aware of our presence.
Okay. Starting to think you're not just the key for the door. Anyone else getting that feeling?
Z, you and Helbine share DNA, yes?
Apparently we do.
So follow through with me on this logic. What if, when he touched that crystal, you both got a dose of what he got? Whatever happened to him? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you may have been the key to get in and out of here, but by him, if he touched this crystal and made sure that there was no way to get anyone else out from in here, maybe he didn't know that there was someone who's sharing his DNA out there. Does that make sense? To be honest, none of this makes sense to me at all. I mean, what you just did there was absolutely bloody brilliant, but I have no idea what it is.
If he and I share DNA, it is possible that there are other androids who share that DNA. I was one of many.
Okay.
If the voice, Maria, do I still hear the like kind of tape? Are they still like chittering, or are they quiet?
Which tape? The one that started when you came down here?
Yeah.
They seem to be quiet. At least for now.
Yikes.
What's Connor doing right now?
He's just sort of listening and making sure that Dr. Helbine is
Okay. Just
okay.
wanted to make sure he wasn't feeling inclined to touchy.
Connor is just hanging out, thinking about things, and it's all good.
Don's gonna walk over towards the crystal that he shot.
Okay. Thanks for the raid, Dice Prairie fam. Okay. It's easy enough to get to. You kind of take your time. I assume you don't want to touch anything, as that was your
Yes.
big thing.
No touchy.
No touchy. Okay. Yeah, it takes you a little bit longer to piece your way through to try to find a way to it that isn't touching as much as you can. And you eventually do find roughly where it is. It was maybe about that wide or so. And you can see that there is still the shattered base. It's still connected to this tower, this pillar rather. And what specifically are you looking for?
You just want to see if there's any like organic matter inside and if it's still there.
Gotcha. Go ahead and roll a notice check for me.
That's an 11.
Okay. Inside of the remainder of this crystal, you can see that it is mostly hollow. There is a bit of a almost phosphorescent blue colored liquid substance that seems to be dripping from it. And it's the same color as the glow in the rest of the crystals that are around here. That's the only thing that you can see inside of the base of it. Glancing around, though, you do see bits and pieces of organic matter that were kind of blasted a bit. And the largest piece that you can find is this dark purple, fleshy-like, giant, almost larva-looking thing, or at least part of it.
All right. I'm going to rip my shirt, rip some of it off, and then, without touching it with my flesh, wrap it up and then carefully bring it back to the group to show what was inside of it.
Okay. You do so.
All right.
It is done. We're all together once again.
Z, I want you to look at this, and if it jogs your memory, then that's good. Don't touch it.
I will go up and also take a gander. And I will see if I can talk to it in my head.
Okay. What do you try to say to it?
I think I would just introduce myself. I think I would just say I would say I am Zageth. I wouldn't say Z.
Okay. You cast this out towards this thing that Dawn is holding. And for a moment there's nothing. And it kind of clicks in your head that it's possible this thing is not alive anymore, as it was blown to a couple of pieces. But then you get a response. And the response is in a chorus of voices, all in unison, in different pitches, that say, "We are the Crodara."
Oh boy. Howdy.
You also do get a flash of a memory, a very brief one, where you are in these white, clinical-looking hallways, ones that you recognize from the Interstellar Coalition. And you're walking down one of these hallways, and in front of you, you can see, dressed in their official lab attire, the back of Dr. Kezit. And he's speaking to you, but it kind of is muffled, and you can't really pick out what he's saying. And you're glancing about, and you glance into one of these open rooms, and you see in this room, there is a singular long table in the center. And you can see a couple of people around something on this table. The ones that you can see, they almost look like surgeons. They have face protection and face shields. And you can see that there's an image on a large screen that looks exceptionally similar to this bit of creature that Dawn is now holding. And then the memory kind of fades away and you're back to where you were.
I am not only able to at least introduce myself to this or that or both, but also I have seen this before.
I'm going to put a hand on Z's shoulder and just look at them and go, we're getting answers. Answers are good. The setting's probably not right, really, no imminent death and threats and all this, but we're getting answers, and that's a good thing. Right?
What do we do now?
Can I see that for a moment, Don?
Just bit of fillet steak, you know.
So the Helbine touching this or something sort of, it must have connected him as well, right?
He said he touched the crystal.
Mm.
So what if touching the crystal, it's crystal up there, it was hollow inside with this in it. So what if touching it was thin enough to transfer something? I don't know. It's beyond my field of expertise.
Mm. And that sort of I feel like it connected to them.
I mean, they were talking about. I think Different was talking about the idea that there's this hive mind that they were talking about. So what if this is the hive mind and he's managed to found a way to connect to it through the coalition messing with him? perhaps that's what his experiments were, just to create this.
And then they managed to get multiple signals out.
Perhaps.
I mean, we're pretty certain on that at this point.
Yeah. Perhaps. And I don't like to say this, Z. Perhaps we say you're right, okay? And that multiple androids have got Helbine's DNA. What if that signal was put out there in such a way that one of them, who can unlock the door, came to get the door open?
Then I would say that there are forces larger than we can imagine at work here.
When you think about it, it said enter the best, give us the freedom, though. If you're the best, then maybe there aren't stronger forces.
I like Connor's optimism. I just want to point that out. But are we going to get any more information sitting here?
Wait. Oh, hold on, please.
Just triggered a...
Okay. That was out of character.
Yep.
So, Z wouldn't say that. If Connor, you are focusing on the line about giving them freedom, these creatures may have once had freedom, but the coalition chose to enslave them, much like they have with many individuals and androids like myself. Perhaps they are not dangerous. It is the coalition who is dangerous. Perhaps we do need to free them. And in doing so, that may be the beginning of the end of the coalition.
Maybe they know a way out of here. I like the way you think, Z.
Z. It might also have a better memory of what's been happening here the last few years. You say they've got a hive mind. It might be able to answer some questions for you.
I think we need to go deeper.
I'm keeping it together.
Sorry.
Fine.
Totally meant that. Just normal.
Oh, Darren. I just meant it normal.
I didn't mean grown-ups channel. But
Oh.
and before we go to break, I think Max is gonna do a Max thing and touch the goo that Don's holding out.
Excellent.
Oh,
Great place to break, right?
Yep. All right. Well, with the goo touching awaiting us once we come back from
No.
break.
Don't blind doing that.
We will be back in just it'll be a little bit, but go take bio breaks if you need them. Get some water, and we'll be right back with this crazy trip. See you in a second, everyone. welcome back. So, the touching is happening.
I'm sorry, I should beat myself.
All
I
right.
suppose there's no way I can stop the touching happening.
Why don't
We could do some opposed rolling. I'm for that.
Yeah. I like this. So this is going to be, I think, opposed
Agility?
Yes, I was
Yes,
about to
base
say
agility.
speed, but yes, agility.
All right. It's 2d6s.
I am spending a penny.
Oh,
Oh yeah, don't
So
forget
what
about those
happens if
bennies.
both of them are like the max?
Just
Do I roll them
Yeah,
both
you re-roll
again?
both. Yep.
Okay, so that's a 9.
That's a 9. Roll
off.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say
Hang on, is he trying to grab something?
He's trying to touch the dead thing.
Okay.
Do you have a thing for this?
Would this be considered an attack?
Possibly.
Because I have dodge,
Okay.
which means you have to subtract. Oh no, it's only for range attacks. Damn.
This would
So-
definitely be a melee attack at if it was one. So
How do we want to tie break?
Is there a case
To-
where they have a tie outcome?
I don't think that there is. Usually, much like in like other tabletop RPGs, you just have to meet or exceed something. So I think with this one, Dawn, you see what he's doing and you begin to pull away, and you don't get like a full touch on it. You just kind of skim it slightly.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's a little tease on it.
Just a little. And you just kind of get some of this phosphorescent slime on a couple of your fingers. And it is frigid. Like painfully so. It's like you just touched, dry ice or something like that, and it starts to almost burn your fingers a little bit. Besides that, there's no immediate effects.
Side effects? All right.
Not besides the kind of burning, tingling sensation in your fingers right now.
All right. Well, that was interesting. Let's go. Didn't want to do it. I thought it did. Donna's just looking at me.
Don is like questioning his moral decision making right now.
I guess when we make promises to not touch things, that's a lie.
Well, you never promised to not touch anything anyway, so.
And I didn't break it.
Anyway.
I'm just gonna hold this over your head.
Connor. Fair enough. Fearless Z, since you're in tune, they saying anything about which way to go? To free them, if that's what we're doing.
I will attempt to reach out to them again. And I think that I will say, we too are seeking freedom. We will help you. Can you help us?
The chorus of simultaneous voices responds and repeats part of this message that was sent out, or rather that you picked up earlier. And they say together, "Long have we slept, come awaken us."
Oh, right. They're literally sleeping in pods right now. How? I think I'll say just how. Oh, wait. No, I don't do that.
Okay.
Are all of the crystal things up above us? Are there any near me?
A lot of the big ones are up higher, but there's some of these smaller ones. There's at least one that you can get to without too much trouble towards like the base of this pillar.
I'm gonna look at the group and I'm gonna start slowly walking over towards the crystal, and I'm gonna take my hand and put it on the crystal.
Okay. As soon as your hand touches the frigid crystal, it begins to crack from where your hand touched it. And these splinters kind of form and vein their way across the surface of this crystal, encapsulating the whole thing in just these webs of cracks. And for a moment, there is nothing else. And then the light that's emanating from it grows brighter, and it shatters. Z, I'm going to ask for you to make a, let's see, is it evasion? Let's see.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I'm going to have you roll evasion, which is essentially you're going to make an agility roll at -2.
Okay.
You got this.
Yeah, could you tell by my audible laughter that That's a negative.
Oh. Did you roll your d6 as well?
No.
Get it.
That's a 0. So
You do have bennies. You have 3 of them should you choose to use them.
I only have 1 right now.
They reset at the beginning of each session.
Yikes.
Surprise, you got 3.
I will use 1.
Okay.
For sure. So do I re-roll just 1 or the whole thing?
You re-roll both of them.
Fuck you. Okay. All right. Well, you gotta take what you get. That's a 2.
Okay, that's not as bad, but still not great.
Yay!
You take a couple of steps back, and you kind of trip on some of this loose rock, and these smaller crystals, and you fall backwards. You don't get hit with a lot of this flying shrapnel, but due to the falling on the ground as well as just these sharp shards that are just shooting everywhere, I'm gonna say you take 1 wound.
Okay.
Standing.
Where did I mark that? Oh, there it is.
Standing in front of you, kind of curled and hunched slightly, you see as it kind of begins to right itself, this bipedal, 4-armed creature covered in this black, chitinous exoskeleton. The arms that are kind of all curled up together begin to loosen and come down to its sides, and the arms are exceptionally too long. It is also a little bit too tall. It stands at about just over 7 feet or so with a slight hunch. And it looks at all of you. And you can see the torso is almost humanoid in shape. The legs themselves are very long and slender, and the torso and the head are all one just thorax type structure. The head kind of protrudes slightly, and you can see these just two kind of white pupils looking at all of you. And it scans you all and sees Z laying in front of them. And you can see at the end of these 4 long arms, these just exceptionally elongated fingers kind of ending in these points. And it takes a step forward towards Z. And it starts to slowly make its way closer to where she is.
I'm gonna like hold my finger up to the group.
Okay. It stands over you and just kind of looks down at where you're laying. And it's going to take one of its arms. And it stretches forward and it reaches towards your head. It curls back all but one of its fingers. And it reaches forward and it touches you in the center of your forehead. And for a brief moment, you black out. And the rest of you see this happen. And as soon as it touches Z falls backwards.
Don't you do anything, Dawn.
I'm gonna step forward so I'm in front of Connor and Maximilian.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep a very close eye on what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And stop the other 2 coming in front of me.
Okay. The figure in front of you pulls its arm back, and it turns its gaze towards you all, and it takes a single step back, and you see the whites of its eyes. Oh, thank you for the raid, everybody. You see them disappear. And you all see Z begin to sit up.
How do I feel?
You feel strange because it's almost as if you are simply along for the ride. You are kind of aware that your body is moving, but you cannot see what's going on.
Oh no.
And the rest of you watch as she begins to stand up and begins to walk towards another crystal.
Maximilian, stay where you are. Connor, do the same. All right.
What are you doing? Z, what are you doing?
I'm expendable, you're not. I'm going to walk towards Z and just stand in front of them.
Okay. You see that their eyes are completely white.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Fuck it. How tall is this alien?
It's just over 7 feet tall.
Is it still looking at us?
It doesn't seem to be. It kind of like... its head kind of stooped a little bit. And you can see that where those like glowing white pupils were, it's just black. So if it is looking at you, it's doing so not via its own...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put my hand on Z's shoulders and go. Are you in there?
Do I hear that?
It's very muffled and faint, but you do.
I'm gonna try to respond, I guess. I will try to summon some piece of energy. Oh, wait. Okay, wait. Is Helbine still passed out?
He wasn't fully unconscious. He's still like here.
I'm gonna try to use, I guess, my focus skill to say, you need to tell them that I am okay.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that focus skill for me.
I don't add anything to it, right?
Correct.
It's a 4.
4? Okay. You feel like you're almost having to scream it out because of how kind of muddled everything feels and sounds. But Connor, Helbine kind of not really sits up, but kind of like his eyes open a bit more and he kind of focuses around and he says, wait, they said that they're, he's kind of like looking around and kind of grasping what the situation is. And he says to you, Connor, don't let him hurt them. They're still there. Dawn, you hear from Z's mouth you hear Z's voice, and also a few others say, "We are here."
I think we gotta let them finish whatever they're doing, Don. The only way out is through.
I want them back in one piece. Or, God forbid, I will kill every single fucking lot of you. Do you understand?
Honor's just gonna like make sure Helbine is okay and sort of give like a shifty look over.
Max has his rifle trained on the large figure.
Okay. The response they give you is, long have we slept. Give us freedom.
All right, I've got a theory.
Let's hear it.
I'm still running with the thought process that these are not necessarily entirely physical creatures, just based on the messageability and everything. I think they need to ride out of here on somebody. So I think they all need to hitch a ride with Z, who is the key, and then they'll leave. I think they need freedom.
Is that true?
You might be muted on OBS.
Sorry, guys. The body of Z shakes their head and points towards the pillar to where there is a section that is not covered in these protruding crystals. It's just a flat sheet of crystal that is on the side of the pillar, and it just raises a hand and points towards it. And then
Whatever it is, we gotta let him go.
I am going to follow. I'm going to follow Z around as they do what they're doing.
Okay.
I'm allowing them to do it.
Okay.
If I get the feeling that something's not going right, I've got a backup plan.
Okay. As you kind of step back, they turn towards this place that they pointed to and begin walking in that direction. As they walk in that direction, they are also touching some of these crystals. Some of them are the same, like the larger sized, but a couple of them are smaller as well. And as they just gingerly touch it, they start to kind of crack and splinter. The body of Z walks up to this pillar. And this blue glow is kind of washing the front of her as this sheet of crystal is about 10, 12 feet up the side of this pillar. And you watch as Z reaches forward with both of their hands and they touch this wall. And as they do, this wall starts to glow. And as the wall starts to glow, so do all of the crystals in this chamber. They all begin to glow brighter and start to pulsate. And the wall begins to crack from the places, starting where their fingertips are pressed on it. It just begins to splinter and crack like a large mirror. And instead of shattering outwards, this shatters inward. And as it does, inside you can see hundreds of crystals glowing and pulsating, lining the inside of this hollowed out large pillar. And Z, this is what you see as you are now back in your own faculties. Maximilian, you see this Crodera figure. The whites have kind of come back into their eyes. And they kind of start to right themselves. And they start to walk in that same direction. Towards where Z is now standing. I mean, you all see that happening, but Maximilian was watching.
Z? You back?
Slowly turn around. And do I just see all of these like creatures walking toward me?
You see the first one, and then you see as these few crystals that were on your way here, they begin to explode. Not close enough to anyone to deal any harm to them, but you can see a couple of very sizes of these same creatures who are all coming from this just tight position, kind of standing and stretching out, all kind of slightly covered in this phosphorescent, slimy substance. But yes.
I'm gonna like slowly start walking away, but I think as I do, I'm gonna try. No, I'm just gonna see what happens. What all these little things are gonna do. I just go back and join the group and like watch.
Okay. These kind of smaller Crodera begin making their way into this now opened this open space. The first one, this kind of large hulking one, when it gets to that entrance, it stops and it turns, and Z, you can hear a voice, a message being played to you that says, "We are free. You can be free as well." And you get this, essentially a first-person view of a very, very quick path that you can take to get out of here. It is mildly convoluted and is down one of these tunnels. But you've been given your freedom as well.
I will turn to the group and say, they have shown me the way to get out. They've shown me the way.
I was gonna say, I'm glad there's a second part to that sentence. Because see, I was
Showed me the way.
worried for a second there.
No. But you know, they speak in clips.
Twitch clips.
Quit it.
Sorry.
Okay. I think that I will say, I will send one message back to them and I will say, thank you. Will you, how the fuck do you phrase that? Can we do more? I don't know what kind of hooks the coalition has on them.
They respond and say, "No. We must leave. We must find new places. A new home."
Z, are you talking to them? Because I'm guessing we just see like them staring at each other. It's a very intense staring contest. Could you, and this is probably going to be maybe a little rude, but maybe ask them if they have anything they could give us to show for our work, our effort? Something of value, perchance? Or at least substance?
I'm going to, before I ask that, I'm going to look around. Do I see any shards of the crystals anywhere around here that they were encased in?
Yeah. Glancing down, you may notice that there's a couple that are actually stuck in, like, your body.
Great. I'm going to point at myself and say, will this suffice?
I could probably work with it, but I don't know. Yeah, fine. Not exactly what I was hoping for with this whole treasure hunt, but
This hulking Crodara shifts his attention to Maximilian.
Oh.
And Z, you hear in your mind, you have already taken everything from us.
Oh.
Our home was sick, and our home died. And then you came, and you all began using the fallen of ours and ferrying it to other places. We have been sleeping, we have not been ignorant.
well,
I will look at Maximilian. Ooh, yikes. No, I will turn back to them and say, the people who did this to you will pay. They have done it to me, and they will do it again. And I hope that all of you, find a new home. And I hope that we never find it.
It turns back and acknowledges you with a quick, prolonged look. And then it turns and it walks into this inner chamber. And you can hear, and you can't necessarily see, but you can hear the sounds of shattering crystals.
I will turn back to the group and say, the Coalition has taken everything from them. They have nothing left.
right. That's rough. So we should go. It's a good time to go.
I'll start leading the way out based on like I've been shown the way.
Okay. Do you all follow? You guys want to stay here and hang out with the Cordara forever?
All right. Z kind of wants to do that, but it's okay.
Okay.
So you can always come back.
But they'll be gone. Hang out with the remnants.
You begin making your way through these tunnels, and it takes you some time, as it is just a long, winding series of lefts and rights and you all begin to feel tired from this just constant trek. And eventually the ground begins to slope upwards. And the upward slope begins to turn. And you eventually reach you don't reach daylight, but you do reach a breeze. And as you all get to the end of this tunnel, you see that it opens up into the night's air. And you are much higher than you were. Obviously, you're not underground, but kind of looking around where this led you, you are on top of this, or rather, you're on the side of this large rocky outcropping. And in front of you and around you, you can just see this forest of trees. And just peeking up, you can see on the edge of the tree line to your right, you can just see this thick, white carpet of webs. Not just to your right, but like down off to the right side of this rock outcropping. You are all outside. As soon as Helbine sees the outdoors, he kind of taps you, Connor, and asks to be set down. And just kind of takes a couple of shaky steps forward and just looks up at the stars, this just blanket swath of stars above you. And he kind of gently lowers himself to his knees, and then he just begins weeping at the sight of all of these stars. What would you all like to do?
Someone's gonna need to go get the ship, because we're not gonna be able to drag him through it.
Well, who can fly?
I think we actually determined most of us can.
So the thing is, I can get there quite quickly, but I can't fly.
All right.
So I can take one of you.
I was gonna say
Can't
Z and
fly.
Connor stay here with Helbine. Donna and I'll take the hoverboard. We'll get there quickly.
Need you to do me a favor.
Yes,
You cannot leave different.
we'll get different.
And Rossum as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say we gotta pick up.
We're gonna need a bigger car.
No, we've got room. It's just it'll be tight. So
Would it make more sense if I took Connor, since you've got the gun?
No. Connor and I can hide with Helbine. But if the Coalition is here, then the Coalition is going to be near that lab.
we should be ready to fight So, all right.
Alrighty there, lad.
Okay.
I'll give you a head start.
Are you gonna fly there?
I'm gonna wait until you got a head start.
I guess because we're on this like rocky outcropping, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, just go.
Okay.
And I'm just going to make sure he's out of eyesight, and just go. I can have one more secret, which he doesn't have. I'm just gonna fill my wings and just fly as fast as I can to get there before him.
All right. Technically, my hoverboard does need a piloting check to use properly. So.
Wings don't, surprisingly. So
Wings don't.
Yeah.
yes,
And
if
I
you
get
could maximally.
I get a faster pace as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a 5.
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
I assume you're not trying to do anything crazy or
No.
anything like that.
Just trying
This
to
is
get there quick.
serious Maximilian mode. But yes, yeah, you're able to navigate it around and down this rocky slope, and it takes you a little bit to realize that you're actually coming to the lab from the other side of this large rocky outcropping. But once you kind of can see that, you start to head in that direction, and you see Maximilian, this kind of shadowed figure above you and then in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And as you disappear down into the trees, it disappears from sight.
Yeah.
Dawn, you do get there first, as you get to go over the trees a bit easier than the hoverboard. I assume I always envisioned the hoverboard could like hover a little bit, but couldn't like.
Yeah, it's not like
fly.
a flight craft. Like
Yeah.
it's. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Dawn, you end up getting there first, and you see. Your ship is still there. There is another ship there. It's slightly bigger than yours. And although much less flashy, a dark gray hull on the side of which has the symbol of the Interstellar Coalition.
Can I stealth at this point?
You absolutely may.
Right. Stealth.
We do have some comm links, by the way, if you want to communicate to Max at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 9.
Okay.
And as soon as I kind of like stealth, comlink, text, and hide.
Gotcha. What do you send?
Stay in the tree line, keep a swivel on, tell the others to make sure they're well hidden.
Okay, I will comply.
Okay.
But I'll try and circle around so that I have like kind of a sight on the ships and the front door.
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me, Maximilian.
All right. I am definitely skilled at that. That's definitely something I'm good with. All right, some bene. Definitely spending some bene. There we are. Okay, that's a 10 minus 2, so an 8.
Okay. I would also then like you both to roll notice checks for me.
Okay. Same thing.
That's a 7.
It's a 5.
Okay. You both see in front of your ship coming around from the kind of hidden side between the two of your ships. You can see an armed and armored individual with a helmet that has like a face shield, dressed similarly to the coalition militia, essentially guardsmen, that you found littered about the ground here before. You only see one out here. Dawn, kind of due to your positioning, well, no, I could see you did mention that you were trying to get inside of both the front door and the ships. You can see that there is movement coming from inside as well.
Okay.
I'm gonna send Dawn a message. Rescue up or ditch and run.
I'm gonna send 3 dots back to him and keep an eye and see what movement's coming through the door.
There isn't really any movement coming through the door. You could just see that there was movement like past the door that was from inside. So it's not necessarily moving towards you. It's essentially like you saw one or more people walking past the door. And waiting there for a few moments just to see what might happen. The figure that is walking around, that was walking around your ship, kind of leans against the front of it and just kind of almost sits on the front of it, very casually.
That's a no-no. That's a no-no. I line up and I'm gonna shoot the guy.
Excellent. Excellent. Please make a shooting check for me.
Okay. That's a nice old 10 on the D10, so
Hey, roll that again.
that's a 13.
Okay. If my memory serves me right, that is most definitely going to hit.
Okay, I need some more D10s. I just remembered.
Oh yeah. Jeez.
Because my
Poof. Yep.
that's another D10. I can roll a 1 again, so that's 10, and so that's 16 damage.
Okay. Okay. Math is good. Okay. Yeah, so you line up the shot, and with one quick pull of the trigger, you, aiming straight for the helmet, shoot. Now, is your gun loud? I assume it is. Ish?
I don't know. Is a plasma rifle loud? Like,
I think it's louder. It's not as loud as like a shotgun, but I think it is substantial.
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, we'll say it's not, you know, necessarily
it's not like a, you know, a physical like bullet, you know, explosion sound, but it definitely does make noise.
How far away is he as well?
Like, how far away is he from you, or how far away is Max?
No,
from
like
the-
if he
like tree line, like if we like put
Gotcha.
up a position thing.
I would say like 150, 200 feet.
because that will deafen the noise.
It will slightly. Yes. You are correct. Regardless of the noise that is made, as there is some noise that is made from you, there is not a whole lot of noise that is made by this figure at the other end, as the shot seems to go clean through and kind of disappear off into the well, it doesn't disappear. It impacts, and then the body just falls.
Yeah. So the way plasma bullets work is they sort of burn.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably some like smoke a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
And Max seeing this is just going to turn and hurl.
Don's just gonna text him back saying, "Proud."
Through the upchucking, he's just gonna text back, "Nobody sits on my car."
You're a dick, but I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
at which
then
point-
looking back at the facility to see if anybody's moving.
Screw it. Don's just gonna take out his 2 guns and walk in.
Okay.
No, don't walk in. I can't get line of sight in.
Yeah, Maximilian, you see as Dawn breaks cover and begins walking towards the front door.
Well, then I'm gonna break cover too,
Okay.
'cause I can't let him do it alone. And I'm
Excellent.
clearly very, very good with this rifle, so
Very, very full of vomit.
yeah, that too. There's just like some just down the front.
It's just over top of some of the stuff that was left before from the
Yeah.
spider time. All right. The two of you walk towards the front doors, which the first time you were here were almost closed, and one of them was kind of just bent slightly. They've been pushed open a bit more. And you can see that there's a little bit more light coming from in here. And as you walk in, you can see that there are some portable light sources that have been placed in this room. And in this room, you can see 3 figures. 2 of them dressed very similarly to the one who no longer is with us outside. And one of them is roughly 6 feet tall, has slicked back dark brown hair, long on the top and fairly short around the sides. He has a chin beard, very closely trimmed, very neat and tidy. He is wearing this dark, kind of almost satin shirt, over top of which is this silver long coat. Just dark pants, and they all turn as you all enter. And the 2 to either side of this individual, they train their weapons towards you. And he kind of turns and he raises an eyebrow and he says, "And who might you be?"
Honestly, mate, it's none of your fucking concern. I'm gonna shoot him in the head.
Oh no.
Okay. All right.
Maybe need some initiative here? Is that
Yeah, I think so. Okay. All right. So we've got the order of which I will draw. I will draw Dawn's first, since he was the first one to speak, and then I will draw Maximilian's, and then the others. So Dawn, you got yourself a 9 of hearts. Maximilian got a 4 of spades, because I know my symbols. The 2 guardsmen got a 6 of spades, and then this dear doctor, got a king of diamonds. Okay. So, you're pretty quick with your draw. However, it seems that he was able to react just a little bit faster than you. And he will duck back and around and duck down under and behind one of these large tables that are in this facility and essentially just take cover.
Okay.
And then excuse me. Dawn, what would you like to do?
Okay, so I get 3 shots from having rapid fire and a 2-gun kid with a dual pistol. So since I can't see the guys who duck behind the table, I'm going to take pot shots at the 2 in front of me.
Okay.
So the first one is I'm going to Benny that. The first one's an 8.
Okay.
Which does there we go. Which does 7 points of particle accelerator pistol damage.
I do need to see the difference between that. Let's see. I don't think the particle accelerator does that do any extra damage?
No, no, I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Okay, they just do more damage if they hit.
Yeah.
Okay. The shot hits, but it hits this armor that they're wearing, and you can see just a slight ripple effect as it seems like the energy that was shot forward was kind of absorbed by whatever armor they happen to be wearing.
Okay. I make my second shot. I'm gonna spend my last Benny. That's better. That's 7.
Okay, a 7 will still hit.
Yeah, which then does 9 points damage.
Okay.
What state is this one in?
What was that?
9 points. What state is he in?
It seems like the same sort of thing happens. It doesn't seem to penetrate whatever armor this figure happens to be wearing. It seems to just kind of be absorbed by it.
Well, shit. I'm gonna take my third shot. The same one. Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah, that's only a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, and then does 10 points damage.
Okay. That one does manage to kind of meet its mark. It manages to. I imagine that you're kind of trying to aim for the same spot, and I think the third hit manages to pierce through something, and they let out a cry of pain and kind of stumble backwards, gripping their shoulder. They're not dead. They're not down and out, but they are very much distracted. One would consider them shaken.
Would you say that I'm taunting them?
Possibly. Let me look up Patherfix. Where are you at?
Or is that its own action?
I don't remember the specifics of it, and I can't find it. There's so many edges, you all.
Yeah.
I would say I would say that you could do that. There it is. Okay. Yeah, I would say that you could definitely try to taunt them.
All right. So my taunt d8. Oh, that's good. That's a 7 on the taunt.
Okay.
And as I taunt them, I can provoke them. So if they attack anyone else but me, they get -2 to all rolls.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Nice.
And then also if they attack me, I can retort them. So
Okay. I'm just seeing if there's anything else for taunting. Nope. Cool. Okay. Excellent. Anything else that you would like to do, Dawn?
aside from then move out of the way.
Okay. Excellent. The two guards here. One of them is going. The one whomst you shot, is going to attempt to become unshaken. What is that one? And it does not succeed. So, they are going to spend their turn, kind of shuffling backwards and essentially taking cover behind one of the large canistered pods that was just against one of the walls, trying to get out of sight and out of range as much as possible. The other one is going to ready itself and is going to fire. Yeah, they're gonna fire at Dawn. Or attempt to, at least. I'm gonna give you some mild cover, Dawn.
Okay.
Because you decided that you did want to actually take cover. So this will be they essentially get a penalty to trying to hit you.
And they're trying to equal or get higher than my toughness, yeah?
In order to hit, they have to meet your parry. And then to deal damage, actual damage, they have to exceed your toughness.
Okay.
Oh, which I don't think a 2 is gonna beat your parry at all.
Nope. I'm weak, but I'm not that weak.
Okay. Let me see. They get 3 shots, so they're gonna shoot once more at you, and then they're gonna try to shoot once at Maximilian.
What kind of guns are they using?
They have similar rifles to Maximilian.
Ah, okay.
So that is going to be an 8 to attempt to hit you.
That will hit me.
Okay. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Ooh, okay. All right. Dawn, what is your toughness?
11.
Okay. They dealt 28 damage. They had 3d6, and 2 of them exploded. A lot. So, what that means is, once you hit 11 damage, you are shaken.
Damage dice can explode?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's a good feature.
Good to know, yeah.
Good to know, yeah.
I'm so sorry. I thought I explained that.
No, I think we just missed it.
That is
Yeah,
that everything always explodes. Let me look up the specifics of damage, as this is going to be very important.
more than double my toughness.
Yes. Which doesn't necessarily mean... It means you will take some wounds.
Wound me.
It's going to happen. There it
Put
is.
upon my 27 wounds upon me.
Oh boy. Where is... There it is. Sorry guys, there's so much here. I don't know how to damage you anymore.
Oh, hang on. Also, it's a dodge, so -2 from the roll, but you still hit me anyway.
Okay. Damage. Oh my goodness, I don't know why this is so hard to find. It's because I'm under the wrong place. That's why. Haha. I found it, everybody. All right. You are shaken. And then they got 3 raises. So hang on, your toughness was 11?
11.
Okay. So that means that you take 3 wounds and you are shaken.
Okay.
Now. You... How many... Let's see.
We're considered wild cards, aren't we?
Correct.
So we have 3 wounds anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And we can still function when we've taken 3 wounds. However, I have a cumulative penalty on pace and trait rolls of -3 by the way I'm reading it.
There it is. Yes. Yes. So if you take any more wounds, you are incapacitated. So yes.
Which is very bad.
Which is very bad. That's when you can start bleeding out and you essentially need exceptional medical attention, or you could, in fact, not survive very well.
Okay.
So, you're in a bad place, but you are still here. Maximilian.
They're gonna try and shoot me, right?
Oh, right. They are gonna try to shoot you.
Yeah. Let's not forget that.
It's a 4. What is your parry?
Parry is... How do you calculate that? I think it's a 2, because it's fighting divided by 2.
I think you're correct.
I don't think I have any items that add to parry. I have items that add to armor. But
which is
armor
good.
It's shooting or fighting.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna, because I don't have anything in fighting, so.
So it'd be your shooting then score then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it would be my shooting score?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a D10, so that's a 5. So my parry's a 5.
Okay.
So parry's a 5. So.
Okay. Then yes. So then that one kind of does like the whiz way too close to your face.
Yeah.
And you manage to not be hit by it. You look over and you see Dawn, which I imagine that it kind of, as you were ducking back into cover, it just kind of got you, essentially just shot through your side. So you're not, it almost instantly cauterized, so you're not essentially bleeding out yet, but there's a pretty decent hole in your side.
So what you're saying is it also went through my wings?
Yeah. There's a hole in one of your wings. Yep.
All right, my turn.
It is your turn.
So I'm gonna aim at the one that just shot at me and shot Dawn.
Yep.
Aim pretty much directly right at their face. And shoot first. That's a 8.
Okay. That is going to beat their parry.
Okay. So that's 13 and 8. That's 21 damage.
Okay. One shot to the face, and much like the one outside, it shoots. Its head flies backwards, and the body follows, and it collapses.
I'm gonna swallow down that violent stomach pain that's coming and aim at the other one that's been shaken and fire at him.
Okay.
That's a 6 and a 5. That's an 11
Mm-hmm.
to hit.
Mm-hmm. With that, since you got essentially a raise to it, you got way more than the parry. You get an extra bonus damage dice.
Okay. Probably gonna need it. Yeah, that's plus 8, 14 damage.
Okay. It was already shaken, so any damage that was dealt to it is an automatic wound. Spoiler: non-wild cards have 1, not 3 or more. So you one-shot this one on the ground, and as it lays there, you just turn and line up the other shot, and you shoot through this capsule structure, and you hear as the force of it just kind of launches him forward into the wall, and they fall down.
And then the boss guy went behind that table, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna line up where I think he is through the table and just shoot it. And hopefully, if I don't hit him, at least set the table on fire. Plasma rounds have the ability to set things on fire.
Okay. So this is
gonna make my shot.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm gonna say that they have medium cover, so it'll be at a -4.
Okay. Okay, that's a 10. And a 3, that's 13.
Okay, so -4 is still a 9. That does still hit.
Okay. That's 12 damage, and that's 22 damage.
All right.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Max is a dead shot.
Okay, yeah. The sound of your rifle penetrates this room in 3 quick successions. And where there were 3 living bodies, there are now 3 not living bodies.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna violently throw up after containing it, and then reach into one of my pockets and pull out a meta gel and toss it to Dawn.
I'm just gonna go up to Maximilian and just hug him. Go, you're doing good, son. You're doing good. I'm gonna go search that Chief Swan's body.
Okay. And then Max just hits the wall and slides down and is visibly shaking at this point.
Okay. You head around, kind of clutching onto your side, and you see the body of the scientist is just kind of slumped with this just kind of slightly burning hole in their chest. And you search through their coat and everything, and you find essentially their a handful of money, as well as a badge. And this badge, it's mostly this hard, clear plastic. You can see that there's some sort of circuitry that's woven through it. But on the front, you see his face. And you also see written there, Dr. Peter Kezet.
I pocket it, and then just to be sure, pistol shoot in the head, just to be sure.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Good
Double
call.
tap, always
Yeah.
double tap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. There's no resistance. He doesn't stand up and eat your face or anything.
I hope so. And then I'm just gonna shout down the corridor like, different, are you there?
After a moment, you hear this slight crackling noise, and you hear, "That was most unpleasant to witness."
Yeah, it was most unpleasant to experience. You want to grab Rossum? We've got Helbine. We're gonna get the hell out of here.
There's a fairly substantial pause, and you hear the lockdown doors begin to move and raise. And a few moments later, you hear this kind of like someone's dragging something, and down the hall you see different, with their one arm, it has Rossum kind of slung over one of their shoulders and is just slowly dragging them down the hallway.
Yeah, okay. Do you need anything else?
No.
Is there a way to, blow up this place?
I have never considered this. One moment, and they'll kind of take Rossum and just kind of like prop them up so they're standing next to a wall, and they head back down the hallway from where they came.
I got Rossum. Just go see what that's all about. Then Max will slowly work his way up, kind of still shaking a little bit, and start working Rossum towards the car or ship.
And if we take the one that's there, the coalition one, take out tracking stuff on it for us, could you?
Sorry, I didn't catch that through the blood coming through your mouth.
Well, if you
take
want
take the coalition ship. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. If you want to put your one on there as well, do that. Just take off tracking. All right?
Mm-hmm. Would it be big enough to put our ship in their ship, or is it?
Okay, I'm going to think there's a way to do that.
Tim.
Sorry, Tim. One more time. What is it you do?
Well,
what do you want to do with the ships?
It is a big ship versus our small ship.
You need to dock you need to dock the smaller ship into the.
Yeah.
Are we gonna be docking? We're gonna do some docking tonight.
It's not. It's only slightly bigger than your ship.
Okay, so it's one of the other scenario.
Yeah.
So I can always get another.
That's the spirit.
Don, you're following different?
Yeah, I'm following different.
Okay. you follow them, and they appear to be going back to that same control room that they were in before. And they go over to the console where they had pulled up the information that they had shared with Z earlier. And they once again tap on the touch screen and then just kind of bang on it, and it lights up again. And they begin perusing through different files and different places in the system, and noticing you enter, they just kind of glance in your direction and say, I do think I have found something that could destroy this place. Are you sure you have him?
Yes. We found his shoe. And the other shoe. And his clothes. And him. And he's a bit older. And he's fine. He's with Z. And Connor.
I'm glad that you are all back. And they...
Well,
oh, go ahead.
Do you want to... it's been a long time. He'll be glad to see you.
I'll be glad to see him too. And they press some keys on the panel. And the few lights that are on go from kind of this like dim white light to just this kind of orange red light that just kind of starts to pulse slowly. And Different turns around to you and says, we should probably leave.
That seems a mighty good plan. Let's go with haste.
Mm-hmm. So, while Max was out there, he got to the coalition car and then shook his head and then loaded up into his own.
Excellent. I expect nothing less. You can tell just by going in there, they've definitely gone through it. So if you had any like stuff you left behind, it's definitely been gone through.
Yeah. Just like a 10 Loco just like popped open.
Yeah. But everything that you can see, at least visually, it looks like the ship is still fine. And setting Rossum aside and booting up the system, everything seems as good as when you left it, which was not great, but also still in working order.
Mm-hmm.
And after a few moments, you see this kind of orange glow coming from inside of the building, and you see Different and Dawn making their way out.
I'm gonna do like the space version of a honk to let them know which one we're in.
Do you just set off your alarm?
I like flash the lights or something.
Okay.
Because it is nighttime, so
It is nighttime. Yes. Well, they would be able to see too if you turned on your your car. That is, as we described it, is basically a giant beacon. A glowing red beacon of advertisements. Although, albeit like half of them are scratched off and kind of glitchy because of all of the damage that it took earlier. But yes, Dawn, you would have seen that this is in fact the ship that Maximilian has chosen to take with him after all.
But that boy. Right, just Different, go in the flashy, gaudy monstrosity over there.
Are you sure that's wise?
No, but let's just get in it anyway.
All right. And different follows you into the ship, and The lot of you take off. It's a little bit bumpy, but you're able to make it back to where Z and Connor and Helbine are, or rather were. Did you send the message to have everybody hide, or just Maximilian way back when?
Yeah,
Is it
oh
fair?
yeah, did you send it on?
I did pass it on.
Okay.
Just to have them kind
I
of get
imagine,
out of
like,
eyesight.
I imagine as soon as we're in there going towards them, I just did text him saying, "We're coming.
Yeah.
It's us."
Yeah, so Z and Connor, you see this. Before you see the ship, you see this, like, red glow. And then you just see the ship kind of, like, slightly wobbly, making its way towards you in all of its speedster glory.
There's got to be a way I can turn off the advertisements.
No, knowing you.
Have you ever tried?
Not.
Nope.
It's probably part of the contract in the first place. You can't.
Probably.
It's permanent. All you have to do is just smash it a bunch, apparently. But the three of you load yourselves onto the ship, and as was anticipated, it is a little bit of a tight squeeze. But as Helbine enters, different kind of is standing there, and watches as you enter, Connor, and then Helbine, and then Z comes in, and different kind of just tilts their head and looks towards Helbine, and you can see that Helbine also has stopped and is looking at Different, and Different says, "Are there any new directives, Helbine?" And a large grin spreads across his tired face, and new tears start to fall as he just kind of steps forward and just grabs a hold of Different, who in their own way holds them with their one arm, and the lot of you begin to fly away. As you fly away, you all see, as it kind of fades into the distance, you see this, rather you hear this kind of loud explosion. And you see this kind of burst above the tree line. And as you get farther and farther away, you begin to see this faint blue glow coming from that large rocky outcropping, until it eventually disappears from sight. Where do you guys go? What becomes of this merry band of adventurers as you leave the lab on Helbine-7?
I like bring Z in close. Do the whole like forehead touching, that kind of like, the dads, I know I'm touching your forehead, kissing you kind of thing. We're not kissing you, and just give them the ID tag. And just go, bit of closure.
Z will put both of their hands on your shoulders and like squeeze them. Thank you.
thank Maximilian. He's the one who shot. I'm the one who got shot.
I think I'll be like a weird turn to like.
Don't inflate his ego anymore. He's done a good job.
Max killed all 4 people, by the way.
Max has the highest kill count in this entire thing.
Thank you, Maximilian.
There's still like a little bit of shake as he's like driving the ship. It's just don't mention it, Z. But yeah, just don't mention it.
Ever.
Yeah. Hey Connor,
Yeah.
you do you want a copy of that recording you made? Do you want my advice?
Sure.
You said something in it. You said you didn't do much, or you haven't done much.
Yeah.
I think you've got plenty of time to do more. Make a new video later.
Yeah. I honestly would like to not do much more after this.
That's what you want.
I want a nice place with a nice quiet scenery and no more. I thought this was going to be an easy mission. That's what I was told when I came on board. Are things ever easy with you?
With me?
Yes.
No. But it's the stuff you have to work for that makes it worth it. And
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna start working on that.
Yeah, I was about to say, coming from someone that is that rich.
I think I'm gonna work on making my own name, not ride my father's. Besides, have you seen what I can do with that rifle?
Did Connor actually see any of
Like the bone spiders, maybe?
Yeah, I think. Well, I
No,
know.
Connor was driving. Connor was
driving.
driving.
Yeah.
I don't think you've seen it at all, ever.
I saw the camera go
Yeah,
out.
you saw the camera.
Yeah. What do you plan to do with those skills?
Maybe something a little more real.
I can get behind that. I think.
Let's see how this unwinds and see where it goes, Connor.
I like the sound of that. Do you think we're going to get paid anything? From anything at all?
I think we can maybe... No.
Fuck.
But we'll work something out.
All right. We can do that.
I think after hearing that, Z will hold up the Dr. Kezet's card and say, "Will this get you any money?"
Yep. And Connor will keep it. Presumably, he could go back to his social circles and take advantage of this somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Z. I just want to have a nice quiet life with a lot of money in my cherry red car.
I just want to be rid of all of that. So
What do you want otherwise?
me?
Yes.
I think there is much, Matthew. I think there is much of the system that I have not seen. And I think that I would like to see it. And I think that's all I know right now.
Connor just sort of listens and takes it in.
What you got planned, Don?
Well, get paid by your bastard father and then go back into retirement might be an idea. Do what retired people are meant to do. So
Not get shot?
Ideally, you know, most of the retired folk I know don't live to my age because they're normally dead. But, you know, do a bit of traveling, bit of sightseeing. Maybe a beach somewhere. A beach seems quite nice.
Could be.
But first, you get paid from your bastard father.
Yeah, no, that seems about right.
And if he doesn't, well, I know someone who's quite good with a gun.
I think we've got plenty of evidence, and I'll tap the body cam that he's got, at least to show for something, and I can remove this last little conversation we've had.
Let's be honest, mate. Let's be honest, son. Your dad's a bit of a dick.
I know, but he doesn't like to hear it.
Maybe
Anyway.
he should. Maybe he should.
All right.
You all sail away on the speedster towards the ferry that will get you home. An uneventful trip back. And as you all arrive and you all set off in your own ways, are there any other scenes that you all want to have? Okay. The time passes for all of you in your own ways. Some of you staying on Helbine for who knows how long. some of you venturing off into the stars. But all of you at one point in the future, either because you are present for it or because you hear about it in the various news sites, hear of a Crichton Corporation takeover. The details say that the Crichton Corporation had unknowingly been amassing an armada and testing out new stealth technology and had been surrounding the entire planet. And it was quick, and it was mostly free of any bloodshed. But the Crichton Corporation, who had been kind of a background player, is now in control of Helbine Prime. And that's where we'll end this campaign. Hey everyone.
Oh!
We made it.
We did it, y'all.
We did
That was
it.
so good.
Yeah, that was a thing that happened. Well
Oh,
done,
boy.
Maria. Just
Yeah, Maria, holy shit.
real, though.
You're
Thank
amazing.
you. Oh,
Truly.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, thank you. This was
6 seasons in a movie.
Oh.
6 seasons in a movie.
Season of the movie.
Oh my goodness. There's so much more. There's so much more that could happen. There's so many
Mhm.
so many threads that can continue to be woven in this crazy place. My goodness. Well,
We're super late.
we are super late.
Thanks
Thank
everyone
you
for sticking with us.
Yes. Thank you for staying and seeing this through to the end. This was a strange, weird passion project that I'm so glad that you all enjoyed. Before I gush too much, I'll let you guys gush. Once more, before we all get super tired of this, go around, reintroduce yourselves. Please tell people who stuck around where they can find you. If you got a favorite moment from this game, a favorite moment or two, and then if you want to bring up anything that you're going to be doing in the next couple of weeks, because there's a bit. What? Why don't we start with Conor O'Neill?
I'm not ready for my favorite moment, but I'll think of one. Okay, my name is Corey Hickson. You can find me on Twitter at the same spot. I am going to say my favorite moment was this was my first chance to jump into a space thing. I've never done a space setting before, so that was pretty cool. And my favorite thing was, I think, probably just like getting into the whole spaceships and stuff, because I just never got to do that. It was really neat. So I think my favorite was probably getting the chance to try it out and jump in at the one shot, I would say. So yeah, I'm gonna be selfish and pick something that meant that I get to play.
That is super valid.
Yeah, because it was super cool and I enjoyed all the space stuff. As far as stuff that I've got going on, I'm going to be here in chat for a lot of things. So if you want to come heckle with me, that's an option. Otherwise, we've got Invisible Sun that's going to be starting up, not for a little bit, but in November. Yeah. So that's myself and Conor O'Neill.
Taryn Maximilian Rochester the Fourth.
Boy howdy. Yeah. That was me. I played Maximilian. Maybe we'll reprise him. He took some turns I was not expecting. Yeah. I'll do stuff I'm doing first. Project VHS on Thursdays here on Variant Roles. A lot of us are in that project, and it's crazy and more space and more horror and more unknowns. I play a much more cautious. I play the Dawn of that group, so and more touching, as Emma says. And then this coming Sunday, Urban Shadows Season 2, Juno, What Darkness Costs is picking back up. So, yeah. Oh, not Darkness Costs, Darkness Beckons. Yes, because we have our Season 2 title. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. Favorite moment? I'm gonna go ahead and watching everyone's faces when Max dropped the disguise the first session at the end of it was a very worthwhile moment in game. But yeah, no, but just playing with everybody was fantastic, and this group was just amazing. So yeah.
Dawn and aka Tim.
Hiya.
Yeah.
Hiya.
Hiya.
Okay, one from this game and one from this session and one from the game. One, Connor being sassy as hell was like, I loved it. I love it when characters get sassy. Actually, that's another thing. Actually, just like all like the character interactions we had, like the little like one-on-ones we had separate to everyone, but kind of all interlinked. And I love role playing. So it was just lovely to have those moments with awesome people. I'm Tim, as Maria said. I'm at Anonmoth on all the social interwebs. You can find me here on Fridays, 4 p.m. Central, DMing Courts of the Shadow Fae, which is chaotic in the best possible sense. I love it. And there are other things in the pipeline. You can mostly find me like tweeting random selfies of myself and stuff. And those other things. Things are happening. It's busy, getting busy time of year for things. So see me around.
The spooky season is always the busiest season, it seems.
Spooky season followed by the turkey season followed by the Santa season.
Cold season. And then last but not least, Sleepy Z.
Hello. I'm Emma. You can find me at MK Hansen on Twitter. Am I speaking in correct sentences right now? I'm like, okay. Favorite moment. I had so many. Maria, this was so good. Y'all are so good. I still, honestly, I think actually the moment that I have not been able to get out of my head, there were two of them, and one of them was when Dawn and I like had that moment and you unfurled your wings around me. I've not been able to friggin' get that out of my head. That was a good moment. And I really like the relationship that Dawn and Z built during this. That was so cool. And then the other one was from today when like I became part of them briefly. That was freaking cool. That was so cool. So those were my moments. But like Tim said, I really enjoyed like seeing all of the like moments that just sort of like played out between everyone. It was really cool. It was like quite an arc that we all took together, I think. It was nice. Okay, things that are happening. Hold, please. Okay, tomorrow, Tuesday, you can find me at 10:30 p.m. Dice Priori, Dragon Heisters. Join us. It's trash. Absolute dumpster fire. So good. And then Thursday, Project VHS. Monday is the premiere of Beyond the Veil, which is a production of Grim Femmes, which I am the co-creator of. I'm super excited about it. Maria's going to be in it. There's going to be a lot of amazing people in it. I've been working on this for a very long time, so please join us at 6 p.m. here, Variant Roles. Coming up in like 2 weeks ish, there will be some content that I am releasing with. I can't really say much more, but it's coming up, and it's very exciting. And so keep an eye on the Twitters for that. And then, gods, there's more that I'm doing. I just can't think of it right now. Oh, on Halloween, I am running an Invisible Sun Halloween one-shot. So that's exciting too. And then in November, I have a campaign starting on Welcome Party RPG. So
The queen of doing all the things.
this is why I'm like this right now. I don't know what sleep is.
I'm Maria. I'm at Happy Capster on all the places on the internet. Things I'm doing. I'll get that out of the way first. Basically, a lot of things that were mentioned here. Thursdays, Project VHS. Starting Sunday nights, I'm going to be doing Urban Shadows with Terran. And Mondays, around this time, same place, is Grim Femmes, and I'm super excited about all of these wonderful new, beautiful things. I also help run a new website, Goblin Society Games, which myself and my husband are running together, where we make D&D 5e homebrew magic items and stuff. So you can find us at Society Goblins on Twitter. It's super fun. We released 2 items today, and it's really great and cool. My favorite moments is kind of is a GM moment. Taking ideas that you guys had and thoughts that you guys were going through, and then thinking, those are so much better than what I had planned, and running with that it's fantastic. It completely I had a basic idea of what this story was going to be, and it just made it like all of your unintentional collaboration made it so much better than I had planned for it to be. And just listening to all of you interact is like eating delicious candy, just watching all of you fight amongst each other and then come to terms with things. I'm a big fan of giving surprises, so I'm really glad that I got to share that with you, and I got to share this cool world. And I want this won't be the last one. Nothing. I want to do another season of this for sure. But it's definitely not going to happen until sometime next year because I need time to plan.
Because both all of us and variant roles are packed.
We're all there's not a whole lot of spoons left, y'all. There isn't.
Anywhere. Nobody has any spoons.
I don't know what
There's a spoon shortage
National
going on.
spoon shortage.
Yep.
spoon shortage.
That's just a hard 3 words to say.
Spoon shortage.
Spoon shortage.
But this has been fantastic. You all are fantastic creators. Lovely to run a game for a bunch of DMs who can build off of each other and learn and grow together, and who are so supportive of each other and everything. I'm just delaying the inevitable, and I also don't know. Oh, I'm destroyed our faces. Hello, we're back. There was half of us for a second.
Yikes.
The void is taking us over.
It's time to go.
It's time to
literally an
go.
hour
It's
past
delaying the
already.
inevitable. Thank you all for staying.
Do we want to raid someone?
I don't know if anyone's still around.
Oh,
wait.
I haven't refreshed it.
I'll
I
take a
think
peek.
Straticus might still be up.
Graticus?
Soul Bear is up. Straticus is up. Let's
Uh,
raid Geek and
welcome party.
Sundry.
Welcome party.
I don't see them up.
I think you have to expand your list.
I see it.
Yeah.
Welcome party.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Welcome
let's
party.
do
Welcome party, why not?
Welcome Party RPG.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We love you a lot. We'll see you around.